and got to follow up everything that's been said today. Move off to the microphone. Okay. Again, thank you everyone for coming today. Thank you those who have come from the country. This is a big issue. We know it. I'm not sure that most of the rest of Australia knows it, but that's why we need to be here, standing up, standing proud, making it known that this is a big issue. So, my name is Phil, and I'm just going to start by pointing out that I have seen plenty of vaccine injuries. I've seen it in my own family, and as a health practitioner, I've seen it in clients with their children and themselves many, many times. But as tragic as the myriad of vaccine injury stories may be, I'm not here to talk about that today. Rather similar to Judy, but slightly different, I'm going to speak about how I believe we can move forward in these testing times. These testing times where our freedoms are being whittled away, not just on this issue, but on many issues. It concerns me because I believe that our freedom, that we, the people of this earth, were born to be free. We were born to be autonomous, self-directing beings. I believe that we have a divine essence. And whether or not you believe we were created by God, or whether you believe we evolved, or perhaps both, we know that we have a physical body with an immune system that is far more intelligent and far more capable of keeping us healthy, that is healthy in the holistic sense, than some man-made cocktail which is injected into our system, bypasses our natural immunological barriers and leaves toxic deposits of heavy metals, DNA fragments from animals and aborted human fetuses, as well as industrially produced chemicals such as polysorbate 80, which opens up our body and leaves us susceptible to a myriad of harmful consequences, as we've heard today. So this is not to say that we can't support our immune systems to ward off illness. Of course we can. I know it because I've seen it with my own eyes, over 20 years of practicing natural medicine. So when I hear in the news how distraught mum and dads, how they apparently, they say they did everything they could to support their poor sick children who are suffering from infectious disease, and I say that with all genuine seriousness. I do feel for these people, but I feel sorry for them that they're brainwashed, that they think they've done everything that they can. I wonder, have they really done everything they could? Did they even have any idea about the myriad of options that nature's pharmacy offers to support us to keep truly well? Because when I take note of what the news tells me I need to do to be healthy, what I hear is about this dire need that we all need to vaccinate. I read things like articles which say that a new mum shouldn't breastfeed as it may negate the effectiveness of the vaccines that their children are going to get. So from my perspective, we take away the absolute essentials such as breastfeeding and replace it with a potentially dangerous and all too often, as Judy's outlined, poorly tested vaccine. And just for the sake of anyone listening to this who's less informed about what you can actually do from a natural medicine's perspective, I'd just like to rattle off just a few of the options. There's things like probiotics, vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin A, zinc, colloidal silver, herbs like echinacea and astragalus. Plenty of science supporting these natural proven remedies that support our immune systems, that support our health in a holistic, natural way. Essential oils, even homeopathics, as much as some, and particularly scientists, might like to mock and dismiss them. In my experience, if someone comes to me with an acute ailment, the thing that's going to work the quickest on supporting that person and improving their health will be a homeopathic. You get the right homeopathic, I've seen it again and again, it will work within 15 minutes. And let's not forget the basics of healthy living. Balanced diet of natural organic whole foods, good old sunshine, fresh air and common sense. But I digress somewhat because my point in a nutshell is that I'm here today to encourage you all to believe in yourself. Believe in the gifts that you've been given as a human being. Stand tall and be proud, knowing that you've made an informed and educated decision. Knowing that you've done your research. Because I know that most, if not all of you here, brave people who step outside of the norms of society, forced to brace yourselves against the winds of adverse opinion of friends, family, the medical establishment, government and mainstream media. I know you don't take the decision not to vaccinate lightly. We should all be aware that our approach could in truth end in trauma. When clients used to come and ask me about vaccines, I'd say, well, look at the evidence on this side and look at the evidence on that side. Either way, there's risk. And you're the one who has to live with that risk. So you need to make an informed decision based on as much knowledge as you can cram into your head, not on emotional blackmail. I didn't actually say that at the time, but I say it now because that's what I see going on. So the truth is, as I said, risk on either side of the equation. So it takes tenacity, it takes research, and unfortunately, again as we've heard today, all too often it takes a vaccine injury to make us think about what we're doing and why we're doing it, and whether this is the way we want to go or that's the way we want to go. And I know from experience that having a newborn or even a 2 or a 3-year-old, particularly when they're sick, is a very tough gig. Right up to my face. Oh, isn't that sweet? So you've got a sick child, it's stressful, it's tiring, and we know that no one is completely bulletproof. And there's many times when even the most indicated natural therapies may fail to prevent serious ailments. Let's just be realistic about both sides of the situation. So to deal with all of this, and then on top of that, face the scorn and negativity from those around you, often loved ones, it's challenging. So I'd like to suggest, and I think what follows is the crux of my message to you today. Please be kind to yourself, be gentle, nurture yourself, get plenty of rest as much as you can when you've got crying babies waking you up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Get good food and drink clean water, get out in fresh air and exercise, build your energy, and stand strong in the climate of fear that is being promulgated by those in power and those with vested interests. It's important to remember to care for your mind and your spirit as well as your body. So focus on what is good in life. Look for joy, be loving, meditate, or if it's easier, do some hypnosis or visualizations or something. Essentially, we must find and continually draw on that inner peace that resides within all of us. I say this because I know that in our circles, it's too easy to get drawn into the fear that is being pushed on us. We must rise above it, we must lift our energy, we must be strong. And we have to be healthy and have a good frame of mind in order to do that. I'd like to add, these are things I found helpful: practice gratitude, practice compassion, practice forgiveness. Forgive yourselves first and foremost, if there's anything you need to forgive of yourself. But also forgive those who see life different to you. Forgive those who would treat you without respect or kindness that you deserve. For in the great scheme of things, they, like you, are doing the best they can given the tools and experiences that life has offered them. So finally, as we consider the situation that we, the apparent minority, face, I say apparent, as has been suggested again already, I'm just not sure just how much of a minority we actually are. I would like to recommend that you all step back. As much as we see the fear, and we need to feel that fear and recognise it, and the disgust and the horror and the agony that's going on all around us, we must believe in the goodness of the world that is. We must believe in life's miracles, believe in the goodness of those around you and find ways to connect. Communicate peacefully. Step outside the paradigm of fear that's been created in days gone by, and in your mind's eye, see the solution. Believe that it is possible that things will change for the better, even if you can't see how just yet. Believe that that part of you that connects to the divine or your higher self, whatever you want to call it, can and will bring answers and solutions, because we need answers and we need solutions to the chaos that we are facing. For what we focus on grows. So change the paradigm of your mind. Let's change this situation around. Let's step out of it. Let's create something worthwhile and valuable for ourselves and for our children, something that we and they can be proud of. A healthy, loving community. Think, speak and act in unison. Thank you.
Thanks, Phil and Judy. So that concludes all of our speakers today. Now, I did want to ask if there's anybody here from the general public that isn't a member of Citizens for Health Awareness or any of the other support groups that we have, come up afterwards and see us and, join in. So we have got another event coming up on the 16th of August. There's 2 screenings of RFK, the Gardasil documentary, hosted by the AVN. It's going to be one showing here in Perth and one in Fremantle. The one here in Perth will be in Fremantle, and we've also got a regional showing this time in Albany. So you need to go on to Eventbrite. You need to go onto Eventbrite and have a look at where the tickets are. So RFK, Robert F. Kennedy, many of you will know him from Children's Health Defence. If you don't, look it up. He's an absolute powerhouse, obviously from the Kennedy family in America. He's a leading lawyer who takes on organisations like Monsanto, and he's taking on the vaccine movement. So RFK Junior, the Gardasil, it's called The Science, Video and Other Facts. So have a look on Eventbrite for those tickets. So what we're going to do now, wait a minute. Oh, another thing I have forgotten. So, if anybody would like to make a donation, rallies aren't free, you have to pay for permits. If anybody wants to make a donation now or afterwards or just before we do our march, there is going to be a donation tin going around. Feel free to chip in, and if you can't, that's great. We appreciate the support. Now what we're going to do is Phil will talk us through the march. We're going to gather en masse and we're going to walk. The police have very kindly reminded us that we need to make sure we don't obstruct any footpaths. So we need to try and keep single file. Phil will tell you which way we're going to be walking. We're going to do some chants while we're walking along, and I want everybody to be really loud and proud and join in. Okay? Wave your call flutes around, and although we're quite visible here and we've had a few people up in the balcony want to join in, I think when we march the streets it's going to be even more effective. So be loud, be proud, and be grateful that you have the strength to be brave to stand here today, because you're amongst like people, we're all like-minded, we belong to a very special tribe. So let's join in, those who can come on the march. We would really love to see everybody continue on. So I'll let Phil tell you which way we're going to be going.
Okay, me again. Yes, so I believe we're heading straight down, turning right, down the street, back that way, coming up, back to here. Hope that makes sense. So we'll spend about 5 minutes just gathering, forming a line. As Michelle suggested, we do need to keep about 1.5 metres of pavement available for general public, pedestrians and so on to have space to move freely. So if you can sort of gather just here, We'll get going in about 5 minutes. I did also just want to say someone has just handed me a couple of Vax DVDs. We would appreciate a nice donation if anyone would like to purchase one of these. So